Hi there, this is Recie Myers coming to you live from Recie's Domain.
And I'm Roland, right here with her.
Every day we come to you to share a nugget or two, sharing things that we have learned to help ourselves become financially independent, financially free. So we've been reading a new book. It's written by Robert Kiyosaki. It's titled Cash Flow Quadrant. Mm-hmm. And the first book that we read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, had many little nuggets in there. But Cash Flow Quadrant, this book is awesome. You know, he says it's written for those people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired of not having enough money for months. And now that Roland and I retired, you know, we're seeing a drastic change in our income, and so we are on the path to improve our financial health. And so if you're on out there, before we get started, go ahead and share this out. Tell us where you're coming in from. You know, we're anxious to know that we're not just talking to the air. I know we're not, because some of the views that I see, there are people who are looking. So go ahead and just let me know where you joining us from. I'm interested to know how many different states my broadcast gets to. So, you know, just say hello and let me know where you're coming from.
Talk back to us. We need to know you're out there.
That's right. You know, some people watch lurking in the shadows. You know, just step forth and just tell us where you're coming from. Let me see. I'm going to try something here real quick. There we go. All right. So, what we have read, we started actually reading chapter 1. And Robert Kiyosaki begins chapter 1 telling a little bit about his journey. I didn't know that he and his wife, Kim, in 1985 were homeless. They lived in their car for like about 3 weeks. You know, do you know what that's like? You know, Roland, I was telling you that when I was working, one of the teachers who worked with me, worked at the same school, she shared an experience that she came to work every day, but she was living out of her car. Well, that was just before she got hired on as a teacher. But she lived in her car for almost half a year. Anyway, so I have not had that experience, but I can imagine it has its challenges. Being able to find some place to
can be very discouraging.
Shower, to get yourself cleaned up. Anyway, so he and his wife lived in their car for about 3 weeks, but they try to keep it to themselves. You know, nobody wants to really share that personal stuff about themselves. So one of their friends learned about it and invited them.
Basement.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he opened up his basement to them.
Yeah. So they lived in her basement for about 9 months, Robert and Kim. And during that time, you know, they got little odd jobs here and there, enough to keep food on the table.
And gas in the car.
Yeah, before I go any further, if you're catching the replay, you know, let me know that you're out there, because, you know, we love to speak to people and not just to the air that's around us. So they had little odd jobs to put food on their table and to, you know, keep gas in the car. And whenever another friend learned of their situation, they all asked the same question.
Why don't you get a job?
Yeah, why don't you just go ahead and get a job? But see, Robert and his wife, Kim, they did not want to have a job that had security, that was safe, that got you a regular paycheck. That's not what they were after. They were after something more. They wanted to be independent. They wanted to
self-sufficient.
Yeah. And a job somehow limits you to what you can do.
Yeah, you know? It puts you in a certain mindset of dependency.
Yeah.
And expectation.
So he says that in about 4 years later, 1989, he and Kim, which can you believe, they were millionaires. By their standards, they weren't not really self-sufficient. I mean, never having to work a job again. But by anybody else looking at that, they were millionaires. And he wasn't still comfortable with that. He wanted more. And so 5 years after that, by 1994, he and Kim, they didn't have to work another job for the rest of their lives. You know, and he's still alive. They don't have to work. So this book, what we're reading, it's called Cash Flow Quadrants. It's to help people to move from the quadrant of employee and self-employed on the left over to the right side of business owner and investor. And so that's where our direction is headed. We are on this journey to not to be chasing the dollar, because we all know the dollar is now worthless. It's only worth 3% of its original value. You know, it's only 3%. So rather than investing in a currency that is consistently and continuously decreasing in its value, invest in something that, in a currency that is going to appreciate. And one thing, what are we investing in?
Gold.
That's right. And over time, I think it's been predicted that within the next 5 years, one ounce of gold is going to be worth $65,000 within the next 5 years. So right now, you know, we save just a gram of gold a week, or you can choose however it works for you, one gram a week, or every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, or even once a month. So if you're interested in finding out more, you know, be sure to let us know. We are live. Yes, we are live. Okay, so which brings us to the point, Roland. You want to tell them about the class coming up?
Yeah, very soon. Matter of fact, October 16th will be the class. Was it gold and
yes, gold and Bitcoin's boot camp?
Boot camp. Okay, and you know, I actually heard on television the other day somebody made a comment. They didn't know what Bitcoins were. But anyway, that class is coming up, and if you want to know how to expand more and learn more about this new trend that's here, gold and Bitcoins, we invite you to join in the class. Now, the class is free, so you can't beat that. All it costs you is a little time, and time is knowledge. That's what I'm finding. It's been very helpful to us, and we're going to join in again.
That's right, because I noticed when I took the class, I learned a lot, but then, you know, the next session, I think this is session number 5, is coming around, but every time we learn something new. And why not take advantage of opportunities that present themselves? Anyway, we thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Roland and I come to you every day, Monday through Friday, to share a tip or two of what we have learned. And if you are interested, you know, you can download that book. It's called Cash Flow Quadrant, and you can read and empower yourself and develop your greatest asset, which is your mind.
That's right.
One thing I forgot to tell you, you know, the school system, you know, we're stuck. Right now, we are in the age of information. This is the information age. But the school systems throughout the U.S. and other countries, we're still teaching in the industrialized age, you know, and we're only focusing our teaching to the left side quadrant, which is employee and self-employed. We need to shift to be educating our youth to the
information.
So what's the other two? It's business owner, and investor. But the school system doesn't do that. So you have to do it. We have to do it.
In fact, they probably don't do that. You probably wouldn't get that till you get to college, something like that. So the sooner the better.
So again, thank you for joining us. You'll see us tomorrow, and we'll bring another nugget or two. All right. You have an on purpose, powerful, intentional day. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Then we'll bring up the